Hey people, everybody, this engine, this Prado's done over between around 3 to 4,000 kilometers in the last week. And I suppose we're going to have a quick video having a look at some of the things we'd check over after traveling 3 or 4,000 Ks. And I'm also going to tell you about a bolt that either wasn't tight enough or has come loose that's caused expensive damage that's a little bit difficult to fix or easy to fix, depending if you like cheap, easy fixes. So I'll get to that shortly. We'll just do a quick check over here because a lot of people are thinking, so Anth, this is what you own, this is what you drive, this is what you use, this is what you service, maintain, and have done so for over 10 years in the workshop. So what do you check? Well, you know what, people? Not much really, to be quite honest, because as you know, if you're watching the videos, do the preventative maintenance, do the setups with the quality stuff, the genuine parts, and do all the prevention at the workshop so that you don't actually have to check or repair anything when you're on a trip. So like I said, we've done over 3,000, less than 4,000, and there's plenty more thousands of kilometers to go on this trip. So I'm just having a look around to try and work out what we could even talk about checking. One of the things we won't have to check, I'll get into it early. So somebody's contacted me today. He's got a cracked E-jar cooler, right? Just there. A lot of people sort of know what I'm talking about. I'll get in a bit closer in a minute. And I can tell you it's caused by the bolt, which you can see from here, right in the middle of the picture. See under the hose there? Hard to see from here. That's why it hides from people when they're working on the car. So you can't see it from there. You know what I'm talking about? Middle of the picture, mate. See that one right in the middle there, right? See that one at the end of my finger right there? Yeah, I could use a pointer, but that worked, didn't it? See? That's on the E-jar cooler. See that stainless steel rectangular thing there? Right, that's the mounting bolt that holds it to the inlet manifold, and the whole weight of that cooler vibrating there, diesel engine vibration. The bolt's got to be in there and it's got to be tight. So go and check yours straight at the end of this video after you subscribe and turn the bell on and hit the like button, and the video finishes. You're going to go and check yours, because there's no time like better than now. Those coolers there up to about $1,000. I haven't checked the price lately. I've never brought a new one. You can get them from the wreckers for maybe $200 or $300. If you've got someone good, you can weld them up. But the best thing is prevention, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So I've just had someone contact me. His bolt's a little bit loose. The cooler's cracked. He's tightened up the bolt. Probably won't get any worse. And I've given him a solution for now, which is going to be a good test and see how it goes, right? Now, what do we got here? What are we going to look at on this engine bay? What we're going to look at? Well, you can check your engine oil level to make sure it's still not burning oil, but it's a waste of time because it's a 1 kd. You can check my work. Remember, we put the coolant temperature sensor in at some point, which depending when this video comes out, maybe that one hasn't even come out yet, but there's no leaks there. Brake fluid level's good, no leaks down. There's a little bit of oil at the top of the intercooler there. See that? Don't worry about that. That could probably do with a bit of a nip up, but it's not a big deal. No oil leaks anywhere on the engine. Brake fluid level's good. You can check the air filter if you want, but I'm not going to do that. I've got the K&N in there, and it breathes well and it doesn't block up, and it stays clean on the clean side of the box as demonstrated heaps of times. Compressor I've just rebuilt. That's all good to go as far as I know. Coolant level's good. Still warm at the moment. It's been sitting here for about an hour. BFE was done not that long ago, earlier in the year before the last big trip for this one, with a new radiator. The cooling system's working beautifully. You can sit on 110, 120, whatever it is, thereabouts, on the dial, 120. Sits on 86 degrees, mate. Outside ambient temperature, 25, flat ground, cruising along, heavily loaded, over 3 ton. Well, of course it wouldn't be over 3 ton. Can't say that, but you know what I'm saying. Definitely heavy, let's just say. My scales must be out, but they're probably going to say 3.2, 3.3. She's heavy, right? No towing, just put some gear in the family in the car, and with a few modifications. That's why keep it light as possible, people. Bull bar, no winch. On my touring vehicle, the normal one, that's why I don't have a bull bar, because it just saves all this weight. Doesn't have a bull bar, doesn't have a light bar. It's got a UHF antenna. It's got a dual battery, of course. On the touring vehicle, we don't have that stuff. This is the retired touring vehicle touring. Besides more airflow down there, that K-on modification there, more airflow, and it obviously saves a bit of weight because there's some holes there, right? But it certainly doesn't compensate for those K-on bash plates and that fuel tank guard underneath, because this vehicle was doing the touring and the track, so it was set up for the whole lot, which obviously it ended up quite heavy with heavy duty side steps. right? All these things add on all this extra weight where we don't have that on the, that's why I have a separate touring vehicle. I can keep it light as possible. This one mainly does the high country camping trips, but this year it's been put back into service to prove a point, and I want to get it up to 500,000 kilometers as soon as possible. So we're going to do a good 25,000-30,000 this year, but of course the touring vehicle is going to need to do some touring trips. They're just fighting to get out on trips. Yep, looking pretty clean at the moment. They're fighting to get out on trips. What else is there to check? Check your power steering oil level. You can't see what's in there. I'm not going, well, I was going to say I'm not going to check it, but let's have a look at it, right? Still plenty on the dipstick there, right? All right, but on the 120s in particular, it's worth checking. If you missed the video, I've replaced that to replace the gasket so that you don't get as much oil, because they do see that oily stuff there. You get a bit of that around the cap on these. You got to really watch the video, subscribe, don't miss it, so you can see what we've replaced, like the radiator, the fan hub, the coolant temperature sensor, the lid on the power steering. I've even forgotten the things that I've replaced. The clips on the heater hose at the back up there, both sides, that you can't buy new anymore. You can't buy those anymore, they're finished. So you've got to be aware of this stuff, and if you watch the videos and you're first to see it, you might even be able to go and grab those parts while you can. You know, the headlight kit, I was looking at the video the other day. It's nearly 2 years. I think it was October 2022 when we did that headlight restoration. As you can see, before I was painting them, you know, polishing with that headlight repair kits and that, a couple of months, 2, 3, 4 months later, depending how much sun they got, they were trashed. Now these get bugs, they get hammered by rocks and bugs, it gets used, but, and my greasy oily hands, right, going like that, but they are in bloody awesome condition for nearly 500,000 kilometers. And when we did the headlight restoration on this one, this was the first one I did. If I had enough, you can redo it again, and when I do, I spend a bit more time, rub them back a bit more and get them even better. But point is, 2 years they'll be looking like that, and 3 or 4 years they'll be looking like that too, to be quite honest. Should we have a look how dirty the engine oil is? A lot of people that hang around, they want to see how dirty this engine oil is. This is going to be quite funny actually, because you're not going to see any oil on the dipstick still. So see how clear it is. Right, I know it's focusing on everything else, isn't it? Let me bring it here. How's that, right? You want me to turn it over before it drips? Yeah, it looks low, doesn't it? It's above the top dot. It's above the top dot. It's just more down the bottom because of the stick I was holding it that way, right? So let's see if I can, normally I use 2 hands for this sort of thing. I want to see if I can get that back in the hole without it ribbon everywhere. Come on. Here we go, it's in. One hand job. Holding it by the yellow end, it's pretty good going. One of the next things I think I'll replace on this, I'm not sure whether I have or not, but I think I'm going to give it a new cap. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think I'm going to give it a new cap. I'd love to get this little angle rubber piece again, but that only comes with a bottle. I might give it that bottle. I might buy the bottle and then we can see if the cap comes with it. So stay tuned. And if I do buy the bottle, because it's just getting a bit discoloured, yeah? This is what I mean, a bit crazy, isn't it? Just what can I spend money on? Maybe a compressor, aircon compressor, because it's done 450,000 Ks, that one, right? So why wouldn't you just go buy another genuine one? Like I did that alternator there, right? $600-700 at the time, you get that. So what else is there to check? Let's have a bit of a look-see. Battery terminal's not worth nothing to see here. You're checking for leaks and deterioration really. If you see water or coolant or anything like that anywhere, fuel, if you look around down here, if you keep the vehicle clean, you should easily be able to see. Now we went through some little creek crossings, you know, probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches deep, maybe a bit deeper than that, but I went through it slow speed because I come down big hills, brakes are hot, shallow water. I'm just going to crawl through really slowly so only the tyres are getting wet, okay? Not splashing up all over the vehicle, all over the brakes and everything when they're hot. No, we don't want to do that. That's not what we want. When you see this video, we might be still closed. In case you missed it, we are closed for our winter break where we, you know, take a bit of a break to finish off the work just quietly, do some workshop maintenance, restock the parts, and maybe take a bit of an actual break as well. There is other aspects of the business besides working on vehicles and busting, hump, packing parts packages Monday at 7:30 AM after those text messages for those people that listen. But yeah, look, we're closed up at the moment. Stay tuned, keep watching the videos. If I miss a few, you can just watch some of the old ones that are already there. and we'll catch up soon. I'll let you know when we're reopening so you can get your injector kit, your BFE kit, your front wheel bearing assemblies, or your Donaldson suspension kit for your Prado or your 1KD FTV. Bada bing, bada boom. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Oh, hang on, just quickly. RTV was the solution, right? I forgot to tell you about that. So I'll put a photo up if I can fit at the end of the video, or I might just put on our Facebook groups. I've already done that. It's in the VIP group for VIPs that are watching, right? That pipe there where it comes up there, it's welded underneath there, right? Hard to show you. I've talked about it in other videos. See that weld under there? Hard to see. If that bolt's loose or missing, that weld there will crack with a vibration in the engine, and then exhaust gases will leak out around there. So basically what you want to do, if it's a 120, it's a bit harder to get to, maybe take this cover off. You just get your RTV silicone. This is a new thing, we've never done it before. I said just work it around in that crack there. It's nice and hot, it's going to dry quickly. Let it set for 24 hours, it's going to stick like anything to that material. Put it thick so it's going to seal. Don't run it in case it's not a high pressure situation, but it could suck, push or pull air. You don't want that to happen in a short period of time. Make sure it dries properly before, maybe don't put it too thick so that it can dry, and put a second coat again. If you can leave the vehicle for a few days, it'd be good. Make sure it seals up. It's going to save you removing the E-jar cooler, which means you got to remove the fuel pipes, which means possible contamination. Avoid that risk by just leaving it on there and do a temporary fix. And you know what? Temporary will probably end up permanent, like that valve cover you saw in another video, probably not that long ago if you've been watching. Like I said, you don't want to miss it. Subscribe, turn the bell on, hit the like button. Catch you on the next one.